friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over 25 books that I want to read before the end of the year. We are nearing the end of September right now, so we have roughly about 3 months left of the year. And I recently checked in with my reading journal. One of my reading journal spreads is 25 books of 2025, so just 25 books that I wanted to read this year. And I still have about 13 books on this list. So here's how the reading journal is looking. If I'm being honest, this is not my best spread, but I still have 13 books left on this list. And then I also have 11 books behind me that I really want to get to this year as well. And then there is one new release that I am going to drop everything for and go and get that one. So I'm going to start with the books that are in my reading spread because I feel like these ones have top priority. And then I'll jump into the other books and the new release that I really want. So let's start with my reading journal. The first book on this list is Wait For It by Mariana Zapata. And I've talked about this before, but my bookstores around me, they just do not stock Mariana Zapata's books for some reason. So I think I'm gonna have to cave on that one and read it on Kindle because I think it is on Kindle Unlimited. I do want to read that one really bad though. I believe it's a sports romance, and I just really have heard good things about this book, and I just need to read it as soon as possible. The next book on this list is Reckless by Lauren Roberts. That is the second book of the Powerless trilogy, and I'm honestly not too inclined to pick that series back up. I've kind of hit a wall with it, but I definitely should try and at least try to read it, so that one's on there as well. And then I have Little Woman, which I have started. I just kind of read it at night whenever I'm in between books, and it kind of just puts me to sleep, but I'm getting through it. I'm on chapter 11, I think, so hopefully I can finish that one by the end of the year. And then we have Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This is one that I've heard really good things about. I believe it is a sci-fi series, but I'm just a little afraid that I'm not gonna like the writing style. I don't know why. I just fear that I'm not gonna like the writing style. So I need to give it a try at least. I can't just say that and not even know what the writing style is. And then I have Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I read Malibu Rising over the summer, and now I really have been wanting to pick this book up even more because Carrie Soto is one of the side characters in Malibu Rising, so I've really been wanting to see what her life is like and her story. And then I have Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I really want to read this one. Again, I've heard such good things about it, and Brandon Sanderson's writing in general I've heard is fantastic, so I really need to get to that one. I also have so many other books by Brandon Sanderson that I want to get to and that I own for some reason, so I'm gonna try and start with Mistborn and see how that goes. And then I have Conversations with Friends. I really like Sally Rooney's writing. I just haven't picked that book up yet, and I've kind of heard mixed reviews about it, but I definitely want to read that one as well. Then I have In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. This is a Christmas book, so I'm obviously saving this one until around Christmas time. I have Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I don't know if I'm going to like this book. I think I'm going to give it a try. And if I don't enjoy the writing, within the first 5 chapters maybe, I don't know if I'm going to continue it because I just don't really care for the plot synopsis of this book. So I don't know if it's really piques my interest. I'm going to give it a try, but again, if I don't like that one, I will probably be donating it. And then I have Lessons in Chemistry. This is a literary fiction. I've really been into literary fiction lately, so maybe I should give this one a try while I'm on my literary fiction kick. I just don't know if I'm going to enjoy this one as well. The plot for it just doesn't seem too intriguing to me, but I do want to give it a try because I've heard really good things about this book. And then I have Jane Eyre. I just feel like Jane Eyre is such a classic that everybody needs to read, and me included. I need to read it. And then the last book on here I have is Hopeless, and I really just need to bring that series to a wrap. I think the last book is following Beau, and I think that was the character I was most interested in. I do love that series though. I really love that family and that ranch and everything, and just the setting. I really enjoy all that. But I just feel like it got a little repetitive, so I'm hoping that the 5th book has some uniqueness to it. So that's all of the books that I have in my 2025 spread that I still need to get to. Now let's jump into the other books that I want to read before the end of the year. Okay, this next book I want to talk about is called The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I actually thrifted this book fairly recently, and it just sounds so interesting and so cool. Basically, it says, I have stolen princesses back from sleeping Barrow kings. I burned down the town of Traban. I have spent the night with Felurian and left with both my sanity and my life. I was expelled from the university at a younger age than most people are allowed in. I tread paths by moonlight that others fear to speak of during day. I have talked to God's loved woman and written songs that make the minstrels weep. My name is Kavoth. You may have heard of me. Like, that just sounds so good. I have been so tempted to drop everything and just start this book, so it is definitely up there on my priority TBR. And then I also thrifted this one. It's called Kissed by an Angel by Elizabeth Chandler, and I believe this is like a romantic, suspenseful, like indie type of book, and it's one of those books that has 3 books in one. I don't really know too much about what it's about, but I did post a video of it on TikTok, and I had somebody comment that it was really good, so definitely want to check that one out. And then this is also another one that I really want to get to like as soon as possible, and it's the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I've talked about this book before on my channel, and it just sounds so fun to read. It's basically this group of women who have a book club, and a vampire moves into their neighborhood, but they don't know, and they let him in to their book club, and then they start like noticing that kids across town are going missing, so they start investigating this guy, and I think they figure out that he is a vampire, and like that just sounds so fun to read. So definitely want to get to that one. And then I have Misery Loves Carbonet by Kim. I'm honestly not too sure how to say that last name, but I just love the writing style that this author uses. It's very like Y2K, and like it always has like a hilarious cast and just very like sitcom vibes, if I'm being honest. So I don't really know too much about this one. It's set in Hollywood, and I think she's like a director or something. I'm honestly not too sure. She's a personal assistant to Hollywood's hottest movie stars. So it's kind of got like those types of vibes to them, and they're just so fun to read, and they're so fast paced, and you kind of just get swept away. Then the next book I have is The Storied Life of AJ Fickery by Gabrielle Zevin. This is a literary fiction, and I feel like I've heard really good things about this one. I'm not too sure what it's about, so I'm just going to read you the back. And it says, AJ Fickery's life is not at all what he expected it to be. He lives alone, his bookstore is experiencing the worst sales in its history, and now his prized possession, a rare collection of Poe poems, has been stolen. But when a mysterious package appears at the bookstore, its unexpected arrival gives Fickery the chance to make his life over and see everything anew. So that sounds really interesting, and I've really been on like a literary fiction kick lately, so I'm gonna try and get to this one soon. And then I have City of Glass by Cassandra Clare. I mentioned in my fall TBR video that I really want to finish this entire series this year, and this is the 3rd book of the Mortal Instruments series. I feel like these books usually leave off at like a crazy like cliffhanger, so I definitely want to jump back into this one soon. And this next book I have, I swear it has been on my TBR several times this year, and somehow I still have not read it. And that is Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. I don't know how I haven't read this book yet, honestly. Like, I believe this is a great book for women in their 20s, and I feel like everything I've heard about this book has been really good. But I don't know why, every time I try to read it, I get a few chapters in and I hit like a wall. So maybe I need to try like the audiobook or something. I don't know. I really need to get through this one this year. And then I have Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. I really need to read this entire series before the next ACOTAR book comes out, but this one I did try reading last year, and I was trying to read it really fast, so I didn't really comprehend anything that I read. So like I literally couldn't tell you a single thing about this book. So I honestly feel like I just need to redo it and like do it for real this time. So I really want to get to this one at some point. It is just massive, and I didn't really connect with it the first time I was reading it. But again, I don't know if that's because I was reading it like a crazy person and trying to read it really fast. So let me know if you think I should read this one or if it can wait. And then this next book I've had on my TBR for a very long time, and I feel like if I don't read it this year, I definitely want to get rid of it. And that is The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. I believe this is like a mystery thriller, and I don't know why, I just don't feel like picking it up like literally ever. So maybe somebody can convince me to read this one as well. I just don't feel like reading it, and it doesn't sound very interesting to me on the back. So I definitely want to give it a try before I get rid of it, but if I don't finish it this year, I definitely will be unhauling it. And then I have The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic by Brianne Randall. And this book just looks really cute. It also looks like the perfect fall read. It's definitely giving me like magical, witchy fall vibes. And I think it's also a romance, if I'm not wrong. So I definitely want to try and get to this one soon. And the last book that I own that I want to read before the end of this year is Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I recently read my first Frederick Bachman book this year, and I fell in love with his writing style. and I've heard really good things about this book and about this series, and I'm slowly making my way through his entire catalog. So I definitely want to get to this one soon. And basically, the back says that this is a story about a town and a game, but even more about loyalty, commitment, and the responsibilities of friendship, the people we disappoint even though we love them, and the decisions we make every day that come to define us. So that sounds really interesting, and I feel like Frederick Bachman just has a way of making a story like beautiful and like bringing the story to life. So I'm super excited for this one. And then the last book I want to read before the end of 2025 is Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. I absolutely love Stephanie Garber's writing, and I am just so stoked that she has finally come out with an adult fantasy. I believe it's like a dark academia romantasy type of book, and the plot for this book sounds so fun and so good. Basically, our main character is taking a folklore class, and she kind of takes it too far and like really starts to believe it, and she ends up hunting down this local legend who tells her that she has until midnight tomorrow until she's gonna die unless she finds this ancient relic. So that just sounds really fun and kind of like high stakes, which I really love, and I just love Stephanie Garber's writing. So I am super excited for this one, and I will absolutely be running to the store on release day to get it. I think it comes out on October 7th, so I will be dropping everything for that book. So those are the 25 books that I really want to read before the end of the year, especially the ones that were in my reading journal spread. I feel like those are going to be my top priority. Also, a lot of these I'm going to need a little bit of convincing to read. So if you have read any of these and you think I would enjoy them or you really enjoyed them, I would love to hear your thoughts on them and like try and convince me to read it maybe. I don't know. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until then, I will see you in my next video.